Hey there, thanks for tuning into DuckBricks. I'm Chris, and I am at Brickworld Chicago 2025, where we are hosting a massive LEGO Ninjago premiere to celebrate the launch of Ninjago Legends Monstrosity, a brand new series of more adult-oriented shorts focusing on Kai post-merge as he navigates through the land of monsters. This is such a cool thing to actually have a dedicated premiere for. I could not wait. Honestly, it is so cool to just have an actual official Ninjago premiere, and we even got a chance to be a little bit involved as well. So join me as we transport ourselves over to the theater in Chicago, see some crowd reactions, and tee up the introduction of a special guest Demi coming in all the way from Billund, one of the LEGO Ninjago set designers who worked on the Legends sets. Let's jump over to the premiere right now. So here we are in Chicago for the LEGO Ninjago Monstrosity premiere. Now, we have attended a few premieres based around LEGO movies in the past, but this was my very first time hosting a premiere, and the excitement was in the air. LEGO had literally rolled out the red carpet for this event, setting up a series of Ninjago training sessions and make and takes just outside the premiere itself for an entire Ninjago themed booth to run throughout the weekend across the entire LEGO convention. And so, with LEGO pulling out all the stops, we had to as well. And so me and my buddies dressed up as 5 of the ninja, Kai, Cole, Jay, Zane, and Lloyd, in matching different suits as we arrived for the Monstrosity premiere. Sean, aka Bricks My Mind, was Lloyd, and yes, we did manage to convince him to wear a blonde wig for a little bit of time. Jonathan, aka Mini Superheroes Today, was dressed up as Kai, the fire ninja. Ethan the Artisan was of course Jay in blue, and finally my buddy Zach joining us at a LEGO convention for the first time because he actually is one of my startup employees and co-founders, was dressed up as Cole, the Earth Ninja. And obviously, DuckBricks has to stay on brand. Of course, I do have a color scheme to maintain, so I was dressed in white for Zane, the Ice Ninja, but also to represent Master Wu, because I would be dressing up as Master Wu throughout the entire convention to train young ninja in the art of spinjitzu. And an entire special video on that whole experience has just been released. But soon enough, it was time to jump into the premiere, and so we helped set up and gathered in the room waiting for everybody to come on in.
The motion training, which is the quick reaction game. And then once you are complete with that, you focus by doing a build.
Nice.
And then when you are completed, you shall receive the poly bag.
In the paper bag.
Yes.
Ooh. The ninja are assembling. How many?
You're Zane. You're not even Woo.
I'm glad that the camera was on to witness that.
Whoa, it's a monstrosity. I'm feeling monstrosity right now.
Lord Garmadon.
Bro's Lloyd from the Ninjago movie.
Hey guys, it's me, Lord Garmadon. I'm the legendary Green Ninja.
The legendary Green Ninja. What does the purple tie represent?
This is my Oni form. It's very scary and very dangerous.
Yeah, you're scared of it yourself.
I'm very scared of myself, but you can still see it as a part of me.
Yeah. What is this Cole Jago?
It's Cole Jago.
Cole Jago.
Cold up.
He's cold up. Who do we have over here?
Kai Jago.
Kai Jago.
I love Jago as a suffix.
Zane Jago. We're missing Jay Jago.
All right, so we're inside the Ninjago Monstrosity premiere. Everything's getting ready, but check out the big line. We got these dudes holding down the fort and a big old giant line outside. Woo! Yes, this is gonna be awesome. Oh my God, the line goes for miles. Wow.
All right, we're about to check out the line outside. I have no idea what it's going to look like. We have Lloyd Jago is ready. Is Cole Jago ready as well?
Jago is cold up.
He's cold up. Let's check out the line. I'm curious how long this line is because we're very excited. We've made it. We are about to go into the premiere. The line is crazy. We've got Jay, Lloyd, Cole, and Kai Jago. And of course, Zane Jago. And the line is crazy. We are super hyped for the premiere. Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
70?
A little bit more.
70?
It's gotta be over 100.
Oh, is that do we have a member of the Forbidden Five?
I'd say probably 6:15. No,
I know they're planning for like 6:30.
Ninjago. Dom Jago.
Hello, everybody. To the Ninjago Monstrosity premiere. Let's go. give a big thank you to the LEGO Group for sponsoring this event, for bringing us all together. I know I've been so excited to see Monstrosity. Finally can see what Kai has been up to after the merge. And we'll finally see his adventures in the realm of monsters. It's going to be a really cool short. It's a 15-minute special coming right after Golden Legend, and we are really, really excited to showcase this with all of you. Before we get started, each of you probably received when you walked in the door a QR code. Those QR codes will go live after the screening is over, and you will find out if you are eligible to win a special raffle prize. And the details on how to get that are going to be right outside at the Ninjago booth. So hopefully, good luck to all those. There's some special exclusive items only for this event at this special premiere that we have prepared for all of you, which are going to be amazing. But without further ado, I do of course want to introduce him. We have Dimi here as well, the legendary designer.
I'm very happy to be here. It's not a lot of times that I've had the pleasure of being in the front line of seeing you guys, and I kind of regret it after seeing what you have here. So thank you very much for the welcome. I've been around Ninjago for 9.5 years since I joined the LEGO Group, and this is one of the big moments where we do something new, we try something special, with the drive and the hope that you will enjoy it, you will embrace it, so we can get the power to do more.
Very well said. All right, so as we get started here, we have a very special message. Just last night, we were at dinner with Doc Wyatt, one of the writers of LEGO Ninjago, the man behind Monstrosity. Unfortunately, he's not able to make it in person today, but he did promise to be here next year for the 15th anniversary of Ninjago, and he's also going to be bringing Kevin Burke, the other writer of Ninjago, with him. So get hyped for that. The Doc has prepared some words, and we'll let him talk. Over to Doc.
All right, I am here with Doc Wyatt, one of the writers of LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising, as well as, of course, Ninjago Monstrosity, here to share a few words about Monstrosity as we kick off this premiere.
Kevin and I are so excited that you came out for the premiere. Hello, Chicago. Wish we were there with you. We're so excited for you to see these shorts. A few years ago, we got to work with this great animation studio called Sun Creature on a project called Golden Legend. It was amazing working with them. They're such visionaries. This LEGO Monstrosity is very much, that wasn't canon, this is. So this is not a direct continuation of that, but it's very much the spiritual successor to that. Working with Sun Creature again was a dream come true. We think it looks beautiful. We think Sun Creature did a great job. We hope you love it too. Thank you for coming out.
Ninjago Monstrosity!
I had no idea what alone truly meant. Isn't that the human condition?
And you're still following me after all this time!
Yes, you have been reforged. He did not fail. And neither will I.
Ninjago Legends Monstrosity. It will be going live on YouTube this Sunday. So you actually got a very special sneak peek at a brand new piece of Ninjago media. And if you like that, well, there's a lot more coming and a lot of surprises in store for the 15th anniversary next year. So of course, now your QR codes are live. You can check if you are a winner. But as we jump in, we have a very special presentation by Dimi to talk through the design process of bringing Ninjago Legends to life and we'll do a brief Q&A session as well. So if you have questions after the presentation, I'll invite you all to line up right on this center row, and we will have some live questions from the audience. So that was Monstrosity, and I'll hand it over to you, Duty.
Hope you enjoyed. I will wing it a little bit because I'm very bad at keeping track of what I do at work. But I hope that we can start some conversations. The Guardian Dragon, as you see here, this is my baby. Yeah, 1.5 years back I got a brief to make a cool dragon. And what I came with was something like this. That was the original sketch for it. After that got go, became the challenge, started the challenges of figuring out how I can make it, how many things out of this were actually viable and acceptable Lego techniques and Lego connections. And there were quite a few issues, especially with the base and the legs. While I figured out most of the design of the dragon pretty early on, because that's exactly what I envisioned and I could make it work, the legs were kind of the most structurally important and complicated thing to do. You all work with Lego bricks, so you know that getting into the grid once you break it is quite a bit of a challenge. So I managed to find those instances of the exploration and the calculations that our support teams had to do, trying to get something that works. And that took quite a while, to be honest. And this is some of the sketches. I was really frustrated on how to make it work. Nothing worked, nothing was there. I couldn't do a physical exploration, which is faster. It had to be digital, with other limitations there. And one day, I think it's one of the luckiest days of my life, probably, I came upon a solution as I was just trying things in the Lego Digital Designer. Something clicked, something worked, and was accepted by the system. I got the hype, I was super excited. I found it, I solved it. So I can actually do what I wanted and not go back to a simpler solution that wasn't as interesting. And then I started stripping out the elements to see what the connection was, because it was covered by the leg design. And I found a little gap. And I was, oh no, this is probably something completely random. Good luck with making that a legal connection. So I had to figure out what it was. I managed to find the half beam that actually fit in the gap. So that gave me some more, it persuaded me that it might be correct. Still always holding back because it was too easy in a way. So I took it to our support team. They calculated, they found that it's acceptable. And that was one of the most exciting moments, because simplifying this design would have been like a stab to my heart. I wanted to get that flow and that sense of it taking off, and doing, for example, the legs, the same design on both sides, would just simplify too much for what we wanted to communicate. It was the opportunity to do something that we can't do in the regular line of Dragons Rising, where everything needs to be playable, it needs to be most of the time, symmetrical, so you can choose the poses. So this was an opportunity of doing something completely different, and see how that works for an audience that is past the toy years and needs something that is more presented and presentable. Another favorite part of this, except for the huge, obvious horns and crown, which I felt would give this a lot more character and a lot more uniqueness, which is something we try to do as much as possible nowadays, to add the fantasy back to what we create. We managed to make very clean sets, very complete sets, and the question is, how can we make them as memorable as possible? And using design cues that don't necessarily make sense, but make it unique, is something Anime does a lot. and it's a very good design principle to follow when you want someone to remember it for what it is, and not just another dragon, for example, in this case. I also tried something very unique with the wings. They are probably the largest dragon wings we've ever done. And while we tend to always taper the fabric when it goes towards the connection to the body, I really wanted to make it realistic. Like, needs a big wingspan, big wings with a lot of volume. So I'm really happy that that came to be, although to the detriment of my initial thought of having the flapping wings, for example. Some people were thinking that fabric might be under too much stress if you start moving it. And I think the compromise of having something of this quality and, again, uniqueness was something I was willing to try out. This is some of the concept art that the Sun Creature came up with for the dragon. These ones, while most of the Dragons Rising lineup happens a little bit in parallel, the development of sets and the story, and with Monstrosity, we first made the sets for what they are, and then our marketing team and the project managed to get the opportunity of doing those shorts that you saw to feature and tell a story. There was quite a bit of exploration for those. You can see there, it was back and forth, how you can, within the limitations of 2D animation, present it as close as possible to what's in the set. And now we can talk about the Fire Knight. This was done by Nick on Slagmat. I had the pleasure of just refining some things, changing some colors after he was out for paternity leave. And it's actually one of my favorite mechs. I think the whole concept of it works great. These were some of the original concepts that were done. The one on the left was from Nick, the other one was from Heiko. We had this idea of having a removable dragon, but as we refined the concept, we ended up going towards something that has the presentation of the conflict. These were some original, again, color explorations that we felt might be a little bit too bright for the feeling that came afterwards when we started developing the show as well. And we ended up with what we have now. And as well here are some of the concept art that the Sun Creature did. And some of the designs for Kai as well. I don't have much to talk about it because it's, as you see, mostly a Sun Creature exploration at this point. Initially we had ideas of what this set could be. As you saw there, it's a J-Meg, it could be anything else, but Doc and Kevin really wanted to tell the story of Kai. There was a lot of back and forth, trying to convince them for the opposite, but they were adamant that they should do Kai. So that's how the mech ended up in the red color scheme. We also had the opportunity here because of a mech, the joints are quite a prominent feature and it's very mechanical, so it also makes sense to have the opportunity to detach from the base and be able to pose it as well, which for the dragon was a little bit more difficult both for stability and also for the completeness of the model. Yeah.
All right, well thank you so much, Numi, for doing this. Hearing your insights, just seeing those prototypes is always so cool. Now, we will be doing a panel together alongside Sean, aka Bricks by Mind, this Saturday at 11 a.m., diving even deeper into the process of what it takes to make something like this, and even sharing some secrets of maybe previously unrevealed lore, perhaps some secrets of the source dragons. So you're definitely going to have to tune into that panel to find out more. But now, we're going to open it up to the audience for questions. So if you have questions for Demi, for the Ninjago team, please make a line right here. We've got a microphone, and you can go ahead and ask your questions. We're going to try to wrap up at around 6, so we'll get a few questions in.
Hi.
So question about specifically the guy in the boat on the dragon, and then the feature that Kai can fit inside the mech. So did you come up with those like extra features since they weren't in there, or was that part of the strict model?
that was surprisingly, if you saw on the presentation, there was a wave. It was just a staging that Nick wanted to do for this set. It was his vision. He wanted to have that action there. So it's something that organically started there, and we just kept it because it gives more life to an otherwise, like, it helps the composition to be more alive, I think.
Right. Yeah, I love those features. So good job.
Hi, is there any like main pieces of media that inspired the design and like the visual aesthetics of these sets?
I can't talk about the neck because that's Nick's, and he has communicated a lot of his inspirations. On the dragon, I would say that I've always been exposed to dragons. It's one of my favorite subjects. So I have a lot of mental images, I would say, nothing specific. Although I saw afterwards people mentioning Magic the Gathering, I have no idea, I wasn't into that space. So it's mostly experiences and what I would like to see on a dragon, I think. So it's a very personal expression.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, Henry! I was wondering, do you know who did the incredible box art for this? And also, like, if they're going to do anything more leaning towards that sort of adult 14 plus audience?
I don't have the answer to the specific person. Christina there is our marketing manager. She had a lot of talks about this packaging. It was a very good effort from the OLA team at LEGO, which is responsible for packaging and communications. And we are all very proud of how it turned out. There was a lot of references on other action figures, statues. So we wanted to get that feeling of display, but like the collectibility, and I think it worked really great, especially with the aesthetic that the animation also ended up having.
Hi. Is there a particular favorite technique in the Guardian Dragon that you have besides the legs? That was a huge challenge you overcame. But other than that, is there any particular technique that you
I think this is the first time that I thought of or explored the offset ball joints to get the curves. It has offset ball joints, so you can lean it, you can give it different directions and curves. And that was what gave the shape. I tried at some point to do a classic dragon shape, which was very straight. I just felt that it was missing something of that uniqueness and more sculptural approach to it. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. Thank you very much for coming all the way out here to Chicago. It's an honor to see you and hear all the stuff you're saying. And I got a question for you, and that is, what are some of the things that are at the forefront of a LEGO designer's mind when it comes to designing a LEGO Ninjago set compared to, say, LEGO City, Friends, or superheroes, and so on?
So I can answer it in a way that I've been only designing for Ninjago. My whole career at LEGO has been Ninjago. And for a reason, because we can express our own ideas, our own thoughts, our own worldview, what we feel that speaks to kids, what stories we want to tell. So it's a very, in this case, it's very personal because everything we do comes from the team. There's no one intermediary, there's no one dictating their own corporate goals or anything. It's just pure, this is cool, we'll do it. We want to have a mech riding a dragon, we want to have a mech riding a bike, and if it's cool enough, we'll just do it.
Awesome, thank you very much. Good meeting.
So, why black and white?
And I think it was to get the feeling of urgency, the feeling of where Kai is at this moment in his life. He's lost, he's trying to find his friends. So we felt that this gets the feeling of this desperation more than something that would be full of color and more close to what their everyday life, when they have fun, when they're with their friends. I think that was mostly the thinking of why it's black and white.
Hello, I just wanted to say amazing work here. I'm currently studying animation in college, so it's been amazing to see the kind of collaboration between the sets and how they've been translated into the animated medium. And I wanted to ask, these sets are geared towards an older demographic, like 14 plus, and that's something I know there's been a lot of demand for, especially within Ninjago and other themes like that in LEGO. What was one of the most standout parts and like differences in being able to design sets that were geared to a more teen, young adult audience within Ninjago?
I think, as you can see, there is more inherent storytelling in them. Both of them, though the dragon is more tranquil, there is something that you cannot communicate on the play side, because everything is inherently more static until you pose it yourself or you pose it for the box. These are meant to have that storytelling as they are. For me, it was also the first time that I did something that is more refined and more up in age. For 8+ years, I was just designing the toy line. So it was a challenge of how can I make this, do all these things, anything that I couldn't do on Dragon's Rising set. Make it as complete and covered and everything that I could within the limitations that I had to work with.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you. Hi, yeah, I'm a really big fan of your work, but I did have a question. I noticed that in both the sets there's a recolor of the reveal blade that comes out in the next wave in August. What was kind of the reasoning behind that?
You can blame me. The reasoning behind this is that it's a very cool element. It will be released in the red, trans-red, and I was like, it looks like a cool sword. It could be a cool sword. Let's make a cool sword, just because we could.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's honestly, that's probably one of my favorite sword pieces that's come out, especially in that color. So yeah, I appreciate that, man.
And especially for this audience, you know, having a sword that you can use on other stuff is always a pleasure.
Thank you.
What was your inspiration for the monstrosity?
I think it was just, I don't know what came up, but that was a neat design. So I'm not sure exactly, it's just that it really frames the neck really nice, because it has the tentacles and everything, and it's also something that you could do half of it and make it make sense. It's very difficult if something is on the sky or if it's on the ground. It's more difficult to accommodate that need and the limitation there.
And then like the whole, you know, thing that the eye and the dragon, where did you get the inspiration from that?
This is completely a Doc and Kevin question. They were really keen on doing that, even though we had some back and forth if it's the right thing to do, but that was their own way of doing things. So next year, we might be able to ask them.
Thank you.
Thanks, King.
Hi. First up, honored to be speaking to an actual LEGO designer. I'm wondering, with the Fire Neck in particular, the Kai minifigure, what made you choose to do like a hair and like an armor piece as opposed to what we see so far on the show with the hat and cape?
So I think we want to do something following Sensei Lloyd, if I remember correctly. So doing something that is along those lines, just again to make something unique that we couldn't easily do in the main line. The design that came after on the Monstrosity swords came mostly from the need to make it more gritty, more desperate, and all this stuff. So that's why the disconnect there. It's the same boot, like the boot that is there, the battle lab boot, because I found it very cool. And I said, why don't we do something again that's very rare to do? Let's put it there. I tried to convince them to put in the story. They didn't. So here we are.
Well, I think both the sets still turned out incredible.
Firstly, I'd like to give a congratulations on the amazing build. I work for Brand Retail, so we actually have the Guardian Dragon in our front display, and I'm actually very curious to know, like, is there any key feature you'd want us to highlight for the Guardian Dragon?
I think the whole thing.
Just the whole thing. I mean, yeah, it looks phenomenal. It's stable. We're moving around. It's got off the gas. It looks.
I'm really happy it worked out. Again, it's within the confines of the job. It's a passion, expression. At this point.
Thank you. We probably have time for 2 more questions.
Are you gonna make it in black and white?
We can try.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe I'll try my hand at that.
Probably you have more opportunities to do that than we do.
Yeah.
I really like your channel, Duck Bricks.
Oh, thank you so much. You want a high five? Awesome. All right, thank you. All right, we got one last question here from, wow, look at this. This is so cool.
I just want to say these sets are incredible. And I just want to ask, will we get a Cape Kai with the hat? And as well, will we get more Legends sets in the future?
So, for Kai with the Hat, I hope so. That's all I can say. And for Legends, again, we want to do more. And we need the support to be able to justify doing it and convincing people to do it. So by you liking it, by you expressing it, it gives us, again, the tools to actually try to make a case that we can do more, we can engage people more. They love it, we love it doing it, again, because it gives us another freedom of expression as well.
What he's saying is please go out and buy the sets, support Legends, because if you want more stuff like this, I'm sure these sets are selling amazing, but we gotta support them. So that's all that we have time for today, but thank you so much, everybody. Anniversary, so thank you all. Wow. What an insane experience, and I think this really goes to speak to the level of fandom and the love that everybody has for Ninjago, that so many people came out. If you saw the initial kind of when we were going out into the crowd, I had guessed like, oh, there's probably like 70 or so people. Jonathan was like, oh, there's definitely 100. Well, we got a final estimated count, and it was like 600 to 700 people that actually showed up for this insane premiere. So all of the expectations were absolutely blown away, and I'm really glad that we were able to show up in full force and show to LEGO that Ninjago fans are really serious about loving Ninjago. Even people who aren't Ninjago fans will be checking out the premiere, getting into it. I know a lot of people who watch this and now want to go watch Ninjago because of what they saw, and that's literally perfect. That's exactly what we want from something like this. So I just had an absolute blast, and I just want to say thank you so much to LEGO for giving me the opportunity to be able to sponsor such an amazing event and announce all the guests and hype up the crowd. And of course, thanks to all my friends who helped out and just helped take photos and videos. Like, as you saw, we had coverage of this premiere from like 6 different angles, and it really helped that we were able to not only cover it ourselves, but also have the full support of LEGO, them releasing all the digital files to us as soon as the premiere ended so we could share it on videos like this, and just online as well, and just altogether LEGO showing up for pretty much the first time to a convention like this and really going all out with a Ninjago event. I'll end by saying that this is just the beginning. The 15th anniversary of the entire Ninjago theme is next year, and yes, we will have Doc Wyatt and Kevin Burke, plus maybe some other surprise guests at Brickworld Chicago, doing panels and maybe even some sort of premiere screening as well if we can figure it out. So stay tuned, because next year is going to be even crazier. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed this full look at the Ninjago Monstrosity premiere, plus the presentation by Demi as well, which was an awesome surprise to get. And that's all for now. Thanks so much for tuning into Duckbricks. Be sure to like and subscribe for even more LEGO news, reviews, discussion, and analyses coming your way very soon, and bye for now.